Oh my goodness, Morph actually got it. I can't believe it. Temple of the Resurgent Flame. It's time. We are in it. Immediately, Morfin setting up a super jump. Oh my goodness, wait a minute, Kreutz! Dropping a point in grand finals in the first round? Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. The winner's final set between these two was looking very dominant for Kreutz. It did not look like Morfin really stood a chance there. But now Morfin immediately has a lead. Pretty crazy. Wow, and Morfin's setting up a corner boost. Interesting. Both of them hitting it quickly. Very nice. This is a different Morph. This is a different Morph than we were seeing in that winner's final set. In winner's finals, Morph was here to make friends. He was here to have a good time with his buddy. Let me tell you, the Morph we're seeing right now is here to win it all. Gets the corner boost. Kreutz, not quite. He gets it. Now the thing is, Morph is really focusing on counter building and making sure that corner boost stays, but there isn't enough difficulty in the rest of the map to really capitalize on that. Kreutz opting for the arrow. Kind of shocked to see neither of them going for a black hole. I feel like this point, so early in the match, when there isn't really any difficulty set up, something like a black hole just gives you so much power in creating something advantageous. Wait a minute. Kreutz being very careful, trying to make sure that Morfin does not get another point. Extending that lead would be brutal. Kreutz missing the same wall super jump. I know he has these. Now wait a minute. Wait a minute, Kreutz. Good recognition. Good recognition being able to tell that he was about to go too high into those wires. That's not reactable. That is not something that you can react to. You have to simply know your inputs so well that you get a physical sense of when you've messed up. Really impressive. And with that, that's what Kreutz needed to stay in this. Okay. Making good use of the linear saw. Definitely that was what made the biggest difference in the winner's final set. Kreutz was just constantly getting that linear saw set up, whereas Morph was really struggling to get through it. And Morph getting through. Look at the confidence. Kreutz getting through as well, though. Wait a minute, the arrow's gonna clip him. One more shot. Kreutz, you are sitting comfortably in winner's side of grand finals right now. But as soon as you drop to losers, you're on the same playing field. You lose a single game and it's over. Pressure forms diamonds, though. Kreutz not letting that lead get any further. Ooh, I like that. If anybody was watching sets earlier, you will know that Kreutz has a specific way of dealing with setups like that. That Kiata jump near the end. Kreutz is one of the new school kids who I feel like are really starting to adapt on alternative forms of movement. And stuff like that makes those setups way, way better. Well, let's see, can we find the timing here? Kreutz thought he had it, but backs out. Morfin just narrowly avoiding the wrecking ball. Putting the pressure on Kreutz. This could be huge. Still, Morfin does have to get through the setup that Kreutz is prepared. Can he do it? He can! He can! Oh my goodness, one life left. After Morfin, and that's gonna be it. Morfin up 2-0 now. After Morfin lost the set in winners finals, he wasn't happy with the way he played. But it didn't really have much to do with the gameplay or the movement or the mechanics. No, Morfin was upset at the way that he built. He felt that he was never able to really get an advantage over Kreutz. But watching this now, I feel like maybe Morph has taken some time to reflect on what he could be doing better, because Morph's building is amazing. He is consistently able to place things that put him in an advantage state over Kreutz, completely flipping that winner's final set on its head. Kreutz still has something to say about it. The pressure is on. No problem for Morph, though. How many rounds do we have left? We have just 5 rounds remaining. Kreutz needs to score in at least 2 of those. Whoa! That is a placement by Morph. I mean, that is exceptionally difficult. Maybe it just happens to line up in a way that makes it work consistently, but that could be difficult. But Kreutz is in a difficult position because while Morph made something that is extremely hard to get by, Kreutz is not afforded the opportunity to make it easier. But Kreutz doesn't need it any easier because he can nail it on the first try. Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. This could be the comeback that Kreutz needs, but he jumps a little bit too low. Still, 2 more opportunities to get it. Kreutz not getting that same lineup that he had the first life. Oh my goodness, you're kidding me. Wait a minute. Just a moment ago, this was looking like Morph had no chance of losing, but now, Kreutz, what is this? And he gets it, he gets it! He is back in this game. He has 4 turns left to score just 1 point to even it out. There aren't many players in the world who are capable of making a 2-0 comeback against a player like Morph. But Kreutz is one of them, man. This guy is good. This guy is good. If Morph can come back here, that would be an absolute statement from him. Because he's had his time in the limelight, right? Morfin has been one of the best players in the world for how long now? Years? The problem is that he's been in a little bit of a slump. His tournament results have been declining a little bit. And Kreutz, in particular, has had the edge over Morph in the last few sets that they played. But now, Morph is looking strong. He now has an opportunity to flip the narrative on its head. That black hole is ridiculous. Surely. Yeah, Morph saying it like it is. This is some setup. Morph still up by 1 point. So even though Kreutz has a bit of momentum, placing a difficult setup like this can really just slow that momentum, grind it to a halt. Yep, Kreutz getting rid of the black hole, but Morfin taking out that final setup, it does favor Kreutz for sure. Yeah, I think Morph really just wants to close this out. He's getting rid of any semblance of difficulty here. He says, I want set 2. Let's play it out. Morfin doing 3 wide jumps for fun. He eats this kind of shit for breakfast. Whoa, 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 wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute! Morph, you're up by 1, don't jeopardize this. You went to all that trouble of making the map easier to prevent Kreutz from scoring, but here he is, just 1 life away from evening it up. Calming down now. Morph is back. Okay. I'm sure Morfin letting out a sigh of relief. His tournament life just flashed before his eyes. If he gave Kreutz that opportunity, I don't know if he could slow that momentum down any further. What is Morph's plan here? Ooh. Great idea by Kreutz. He needs it to be difficult enough to score here. You can tell that Morfin's starting to get a little bit of nerves. But Kreutz's movement is still so confident. I need to know when to shut up. My bad, guys. Morfin, just 1 alignment separates him. And now Kreutz only has 1 more turn to even it up. It is not possible for Kreutz to outright win. It would have to be in a tiebreaker. And if it comes down to a tiebreaker, if we have to pick between these 2 players when it comes to speed, I think I got Morph. I could be mistaken though. Kreutz really trying to find something here, but this is not an easy item to build with. He needs something strong in this box. He gets the 3 wires. This could be huge. What's he going to opt for? He needs to hide his intentions. Morph has his bomb ready. Kreutz cannot be placed until the very end. Oh, but Morph forcing his hand. Wait a minute. Whoa. Okay, this is a massive gamble. I mean, that is a crazy setup. Jumping off of that wired corner, that is extremely difficult. There's a good chance that Kreutz can't make it in 3 lives. But that's exactly the kind of thing that Kreutz needs if he wants to make a comeback. Because, you know, Morph has to not make it. Can he do it? This would be insane. Kreutz, do you have it in you? You have 1 life remaining, or we're going to be going to a grand finals reset. Morph comes close. Kreutz trying to get that corner jump. Boost. Wait a minute. Morph had it. Morph gets it. No way. Morph was worried. Morph was worried that Kreutz might tie it up, bring it to 2-2. But now we're looking at a confident and clear 3-1 victory. It's time for a bracket reset. How exactly? Yeah, they both ban again. They both ban again. Alright, set 1 goes to Morfin. I'll open up the predictions again. We are one final set. Whoa. Wait a minute. Kreutz gets to pick Sato is Insane. This is a map that heavily favors his playstyle. This might come down to the coin flip. 20 seconds away from finding out. I'm on the edge of my seat. This map could significantly impact the winner of this set. I mean, these are two really different playstyles. Kreutz, he jinxed himself. Tail of the Headless Mule it is. We are one set away. Kreutz taking his time to think here. Now, I'd be interested to see if Kreutz tries to set up... Oh no, I guess it would be Morfin. I recently taught Morfin a pretty clean setup for a perfect L-saw jump. I'm curious to see if he sets it up. Both players taking the time to get a feel for the setup before they build anything else. Definitely a good idea. Keeping it even. Nothing crazy yet. But I think from the games I've seen with Kreutz and the games I've seen with Morfin, these two, the difficulty is going to ramp up hard and it's going to ramp up fast. What does Morfin have in mind? I imagine that spike ball. Yep, the super jump. Still, on the first party box, though, that gives Kreutz an opportunity. Oh, Kreutz picked up the spike ball. There is no opportunity for the counter build here. If I'm Kreutz, I'm placing the most difficult thing that I possibly can because Morph is favored in these super jumps. Yep, Kreutz sees it. Kreutz sees it. Definitely the correct strategy to go for here. Letting the way that Morph wins a lot of the time is by finding these setups that can be easily created, easy to force, that with a bit of practice can be the difference maker in a game. So super jumps are definitely something like that. Set up a single super jump and that will make it, you know, that'll take out at least 90% of the player base. So if you can get that first point, you dictate the pace of the game. I will say, Morph actually was really close to hitting this a moment ago. Kreutz thinking here. I see what he's going for. He's trying to find the exact jump height that puts him over so that he can guarantee that he's on the furthest, most right point of the block. Yep, good idea by Kreutz. He's charging it up. like the attempt. I like the attempt, but that is not a setup that can be overcome so easily with fantasy. You need to be careful to place this in a way that it can't affect the game. Here we go. Morph again, looking to set up the super jump. Now wait a minute, Kreutz, you can't place that. That would make the level impossible. Morph being really dominant with his building here. I think the problem is that Kreutz is the type of player who sees wires, and he sees spike balls, and he wants to set up the most difficult thing he can as early as he can. But when you're playing against someone like Morph, you need to be willing to take the more passive items that can give you opportunities to block off the things that Morph is good at. If Morph can force a super jump, he's gonna force a super jump. Place any solid block somewhere to the right. This is difficult. Ooh. Both Kreutz and Morfin have had a pretty rough death early here. I mean, this is an insanely difficult super jump. Not only getting the same wall super jump, but getting the precision after. Amazing bailout by Morfin, keeping himself alive. Almost gets it, but he gets a little bit too late on the super jump timing. Doesn't get the height he needs. Kreutz, he's getting the height, but he doesn't have the confidence. With a jump like this, you need to be confident. Now, let's see. Okay. That cannon could be huge. Yep. It's going to be really difficult for Morfin to force. Wait a minute. Never mind. I spoke too soon. Morfin has exactly what he needs to force it. Alright. That should disarm Morfin's building style for at least a little bit until he finds a new location to set these things up. The question is Kreutz gonna go for that one block precision, or yeah, he's just gonna jump over it? I wasn't sure if he was waiting for Morph to go by before he attempted it, but both of them going at it in different ways. And still, both of them tied 0-0, 5 rounds in. Interesting. I think Morfin, not a big fan of that precision. Makes sense against a player like Kreutz. Oh, Morfin in a really tricky spot there. Kreutz opting to just go around it. I think Morfin recognizing that you can do the same. He's not afraid to spend one of his lives just practicing a setup. Could be risky here. I don't know that this Elsa is trivial. Maybe for these guys it is. I like the idea here by Kreutz. Putting something like that just gives you a lot more room to set up difficult things. I think the problem that we're seeing right now is that both of them want to place things that are hard. But we don't really have the necessary infrastructure to get it done. You know, if you want to place a wire, you need a wall to place it on. But Kreutz is usually opting to take that wire right away instead of going for the walls that, you know, have to come first. Okay, I don't mind that wire. I don't mind that wire. That is definitely something that I could see either of them failing to. Oh, now wait just a minute. This is hard. Morfin getting through, setting the pressure onto Kreutz. No, Morfin. That was his opportunity. Getting the lead in a match like this is everything, but dying to the easy setup that you haven't struggled with so far, that's gotta sting. But even so, Morfin has a chance. Kreutz all out of lives, but Morfin cannot capitalize. We are still dead even. I see the vision. I'm actually kind of surprised that Kreutz isn't opting to set up precision on that. Wait a minute. I'm a fan. I like this. I like this. Unfortunate that you can still skip over it, but... Still no points scored, but we're entering the home stretch here. I think both of these players need to remember, if this comes down to a tiebreaker, it doesn't matter how easy the level is. It's all about who the first player to score is. So at that point, you need to be considering which of us is the better speedrunner. And if I'm Kreutz, I think my goal right now is to make the level a hell of a lot harder. If you can make the map difficult, you kind of nullify that difference in speedrunning experience that Morfin has. Now, I will say, this is crazy. That is a beautiful setup, my god. I could see both of these players making this. I really could. It is difficult, but for guys like this, I mean, this is doable. Morfin, I like the approach Morfin has, opting to go to the right side, give yourself a little bit more time to run up, get that momentum all right. Whereas Kreutz is taking a bit more of like a shallow angled approach. And Morph makes it! Wait a minute! This could be everything! Kreutz, you've still got one life left. Well, this is the last life, but Morfin has made it. The pressure is on you. There aren't too many rounds left. If you can't score here, this might spell the end of it, and Morfin goes up a point. This is where the building needs to start heating up. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it. I feel like I got in a time machine and I got out and the current year is 2022. I feel like I'm looking at prime Morfin right now. The things this man is doing, this does not feel like the Morfin that I've been seeing the last few months. This is a completely different player altogether. Now, let's not forget either. Let's not forget where we were before, because Marf almost lost to Marfy. Morph was down in points against Marfy in, like, winners round 4. He was that close to being upset, and instead he's having the best tournament run of his life. This 2-block squeeze. For both of these guys, I mean, this is a bread and butter type setup, but the stakes this high, the pressure this high, like, they are struggling. I mean, look at Morph. He is the 2-block squeeze guy, and he is not getting this. Like, what is that death? Big opportunity now for Kreutz to even it up. I think that this setup really favors him more than the previous one did. Take your time. We are getting closer and closer. Morfin, one of the best players of the last few years, winning a tournament like this is the kind of thing he needs for his legacy to push him from one of the best players the last few years to one of the best players of all time. Kreutz, a newcomer to the scene, the new kid on the block. It's an inevitability that he becomes a top player, and he already is. But if he was able to start out his legacy with an absolute bang like this, both of these players have everything to win and everything to lose. Kreutz getting pushed back. Ooh, and Kreutz hitting that wrecking ball. Morfin as well. This is where the spaghetti comes in. Morph all out of lives. Kreutz has 2 opportunities here to score. It's now or never. It's gonna be difficult. If Morph goes into the last few rounds knowing that he's an advantage, knowing how much is on the line, I think it's gonna be really, really difficult for Kreutz to overcome the building style that I think we're gonna be seeing. Okay, this is the moment of truth. One more attempt. Can he do it? Not this round. We're gonna need to see a change up. Something about this setup is not clicking for you. 2 turns left. Can Morfin hold on? Whoa. Very risky setup by Kreutz. Very risky. I feel like at this point you need to make the starting setup a little bit easier. You know, even if it means blocking off this, arrow right now, something needs to change. And I think the setup in the middle is advantageous for you. This is an insane display of building and game knowledge we're seeing right here. Pressure is on. That is such a difficult Kiatu to align yourself for. Kreutz is looking a little bit more confident in his movements than I've been seeing for the past few rounds. From what I've seen so far, he seems like the type to perform well under pressure, but Morfin makes it through! Dies to something silly right after, can't get the squeeze! He had the opportunity to put the nail in the coffin, but that being said, Morfin still holds the advantage. Kreutz gets through. The tension is high right now. Kreutz, can you get through? Extremely close. He had the timing. He was just a little bit off on the execution. One more attempt before we enter the final round. Kreutz being extra careful to not attempt the 2-block squeeze until the wrecking ball is gone, but he gets boosted and dies to that wire. 1 round is all that separates Morfin from becoming your Ignition champion. Wait just a minute. Morfin getting rid of that spike ball. That could be everything. That could seriously be everything. I see a world where Morph does not succeed in this second setup here, and Kreutz makes it through. Making it easier to get to that portion. I think, if anything, that dynamite could have spelled disaster for Morfin here. You just gave Kreutz an opportunity to come back. What's he gonna place, though? Morfin. An interesting wrecking ball. I don't disagree with the idea of it. Yeah, I think I like that. I think I like that. So right now, all Morph needs to do is make it to the finish. He doesn't need to do it first. He doesn't need to do it solo. If Morph touches the goal, he will be crowned the champion. Wow, Morfin made it easier, but opting to still go for that difficult Kiata jump. That is unreal. Now, wait a minute. Morfin doesn't get the alignment. Still, things are looking good for him. Kreutz has 1 life left. Everybody, this is the moment that it is all coming down to. It has been 8 consecutive hours of gameplay. Some of the highest level gameplay I have ever seen in my entire life. The most stacked tournament, the biggest tournament, the best tournament. Morfin, are you the Ignition champion? Kreutz, do you have what it takes to make the greatest clutch this game has ever seen? And that does it! Morfin is your Ignition champion! It's been a long time coming. I've been saying for so long that I feel like Morph has what it takes to be the best player in the world. And today, Morfin, you showed us that you are. An unbelievable display of skill from both of these players. A complete change-up from the winner's final set we saw. Unbelievable. Kreutz, well done. You may not have brought it all the way, but you've clearly shown us that you have what it takes to be the best player. You've been a little bit on the outside for a while now. But to me, in my eyes, this run has cemented you as clearly in the absolute upper echelon of players. Morfin, all I can say is it's glad to have you back, buddy. This is the Morfin that I know. The Morfin that wins. The Morfin that plays like this. The Morfin that puts on a show. Prime Morfin has returned. Unbelievable.